Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about the match between Barcelona and Napoli, and in this game this is going to be considered as Barcelona's first Europa League match since like 2004. It has been a total of 17 years since the last time Barcelona have featured in a tournament like this, and of course ever since then, ever since that 2004 tournament moving forward all the way until like 2021, Barcelona have experienced a lot of success, winning many trophies. And so looking at where Barcelona is positioned now, seeing how Barcelona is going to be debuting against Napoli in the Europa League, you can just get a sense that this is going to be a restart. Like, yes, Barcelona is back at the very bottom, but the only way we can move is by moving up. There is no such thing as Barcelona moving down or degrading. We're only going to be moving forward. And tomorrow night, it is going to be the first official step. So Napoli, we know that this is going to be a very difficult rival. We know the type of team that we are going to be facing. Like, if you look at them in the league, they do bring so much consistency within the league. Like, it is really hard for any team to bring consistency and perform at a very good level, but Napoli has shown that they are capable to do that. Now, if we look at the league here, they are in third place, but they are only 2 points below first place, and so Napoli is carrying a lot of momentum. They know exactly how to show up in very important moments. As a matter of fact, if we go into greater detail on what Napoli has been doing, they are considered to be in first place within the league that does concede the very least. They do concede a total of 0.7 goals per 90 minutes, and the only team that actually beats Napoli in terms of conceding the least within the top 5 leagues, if you were to combine like all of the teams, that is only Manchester City, but Napoli is there right below Man City in terms of who concedes the least. And so Barcelona are going to be facing a very tough rival, and they're going to have to fire with all cylinders. So we're going to have to place a starting 11 that is very attack focused, and Xavi Hernandez does know this. Now let's quickly talk about the player availability, because Memphis Depay will be missing this match. He will not be here at all. Now Memphis has not experienced any setback, it's just he has been having very slow progress, and so Xavi is going to have to find a solution for this, and I do not think that this is going to be considered as a very big loss. But when it comes to the next player, right, that will not be here against Napoli, it is going to be Ronald Araujo, because if we were to look at what did happen during training, Araujo was not involved in the group training today, and everything does indicate that he will miss the next match against Napoli. And so this is a completely different story. Like, Araujo is the reason why we have seen some defensive stability within this Barcelona team. So it is very likely that we could see a backline of Eric Garcia and Gerard Piqué as our center back duo. And I know that this does bring some nervousness, right? Because we have always said that Eric Garcia is someone that does make big time mistakes. And I know that you guys have heard me basically praise this player before, and you guys are probably questioning, Kevin, make up your mind. Do you think that Eric Garcia is a great center back or not? Well, here's the thing. I have always said and praised Garcia in a certain way by saying that Eric Garcia is great at progressing the ball and carrying the ball moving forward. That is his best ability when it comes to him being a great center back, having him gain possession. But when it comes to him defending the long balls or being in a 1v1, that does need some work. But now let's transition towards Xavi's press conference, because Xavi Hernandez did have a few words regarding Eric Garcia and his latest performance, and this is what he said, and I quote, "Eric Garcia is a top level defender for me. He made a mistake and he knows it. The pity is that he got injured and when he was at his peak, and now he has to regain confidence because he's very important to me in my plan. Before his injury, Eric Garcia was at a very high level and we need to help him to get back to his best level." So yes, it's true that before his injury, Eric Garcia was performing at a very high level, and because of this injury that he has recently encountered, he has been looking very shaky. And hopefully when Eric Garcia does start, which is very likely to happen, and does play against Napoli, we get to see his A game, because it is going to be needed. And then Xavi moved on towards speaking on the Europa League and whether he does believe the Europa League is something that Barcelona should be taken seriously, and should it be a priority. Like, what is his opinion when Barcelona does play within this tournament? And so this is what he said, and I quote, "In the Europa League, there are also great teams. We would like to be in the Champions League, but we didn't do the job, so we have to compete in the Europa League. We would like to be in the Champions League. Now you watch the games and it makes you angry. Yes, of course, but we are in the Europa League and I see it as a opportunity. Winning winning it would open the door to the UCL, and the tie is worthy of the UCL. Our current goal is to enter this tournament next season, and we have two paths by doing so. It's to be in the top 4 within La Liga or to win the Europa League. So Xavi has made it very clear that he does want Barcelona to win the Europa League because he does not see this necessarily as a chance to win a trophy. He actually sees this as a way to have access to go into the Champions League next season. And I do think that going into that tournament next season, of course, it's going to be very mandatory because it is going to be making sense economically and sportingly. And so Barcelona, of course, are going to have to field their best 11. We cannot distribute a very weak 11 against Napoli because it is a priority to win this tournament. We cannot be one-sided on a competition within the season because that would be very irresponsible in the end. And then lastly, I do want to end it with this. Xavi Hernandez was asked about Kylian Mbappe, which is very strange, and I do want to give my input on this. And so this is what one of the reporters did ask Xavi Hernandez. What do you think about Kylian Mbappe? And this is what Xavi had to say, and I quote, "I'm not talking about Mbappe. Do you have other names that I can talk about? Come on, give me a question about Pedri, Ferran. I don't know. Mbappe, I don't have to talk about this player. I prefer to talk about my own players. Mbappe is a great player, like Messi, like Neymar. He makes PSG great. It makes me angry not to be in his competition, but I don't want to speak about Kylian Mbappe." So it's strange, right? Because of course, yesterday Mbappe did show that he is a game changer, that he is someone that can step up to the plate and really benefit his team that he is playing for. But there was no reason to ask about Kylian Mbappe in a game where it has nothing to do with this player. Like, we're talking about Napoli versus Barcelona within the Europa League. This has nothing to do with the player. And I'm glad to see that Xavi has basically backfired on these reporters and said, I want to add more emphasis on my own players because we're talking about our own game. It makes no sense to be talking about Kylian Mbappe. And I understand that these reporters and maybe the media are nervous because of what Kylian Mbappe did show up against a team like Real Madrid. We know how great he's going to be. We know that this player here is going to be playing with Real Madrid and going to be facing Barcelona consistently now by the time we do get into the next season. And so I understand the nervousness, but I just don't get how this benefits the reporter or like Xavi Hernandez or in this game overall. Like, do you want Xavi to speak good about Kylian Mbappe so he can make the link stronger between Barcelona and Kylian Mbappe? Like, I have no idea. Like, this is just very confusing. Notice how even with me talking about this has nothing to do with the pre-match preview that I am going to be discussing after I'm done with this topic. And so I'm glad that Xavi has shown character through this press conference and said, I'm going to be standing up for my own players because if you want to ask me a question, only ask about my own players because I do believe that they are the best. As a matter of fact, if you want to speak about different players within a press conference that has nothing to do with the game, speak about Erling Haaland, someone who has a greater chance of going to Barcelona. Make the link stronger between Haaland and Barcelona. Make the media talk about how Xavi spoke so great about Erling Haaland. That will make a lot more sense, not about Kylian Mbappe where we know that this player is going to be a Real Madrid player. And so now let's move on towards the most possible starting 11 that we could see Xavi Hernandez place on the field tomorrow night. Now again, this is not going to be like my preferred starting 11. I just do see Xavi placing a team like this because I do think that Xavi does believe this is going to greatly benefit the result in the end. So this is going to be the starting 11 that we could see. It's going to be Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal, our defensive line being Jordi Alba, Gerard Piqué, Eric Garcia, and then Serginho Dest. Notice how Dani Alves is not within this defensive line. That is because Xavi has chosen to use Ferran Torres, Adama Traoré, and Aubameyang in the Europa League. He could not use Dani Alves because you're only allowed to have 3 out of the 4 signings that Barcelona have made back in January. So he is not going to be in this tournament. As for the midfield, we're going to be seeing most likely Busquets, Gavi, and Pedri, and then our front 3 could be Adama Traoré as the right winger, Ferran Torres as the striker, and Dembélé as the left winger. Now, many people are going to be questioning, shouldn't Gavi be playing as a left winger because Gavi did play great as a left winger last time Barcelona did play, which is true. I think that Gavi as a left winger, he is world class, but I just think that Xavi is going to be wanting pace on both flanks. Dembélé and Adama Traoré can bring exactly that because we're going to be needing to like stretch the defense of Napoli's and to have spaces within the middle. Remember how I did say and how we discussed on how Napoli is one of the best defensive teams in the world? We're going to need Adama Traoré and Dembélé, and then that's going to allow Pedri and Gavi to create in the middle. If Pedri and Gavi do have the access to do that, that is also going to greatly help Barcelona find those goals because notice how Pedri and Gavi has been scoring more consistently lately, and that is because Xavi has been adding more emphasis on his interiors, which is Gavi and Pedri. He wants these 2 midfielders here to step higher on the field, something that we have been seeing recently over the past 4 to 5 games. Now, how does that benefit the midfielders? Well, if Gavi and Pedri are stepping higher up the field and they're not necessarily taking up the space of a true midfielder and they're acting more as like a false 9, that is is one of the reasons on why we have seen Xavi and Pedri score more goals. And so the position of these two midfielders and their capability of having that eye for goal, it is going to benefit Barcelona. Xavi's tactics are currently working, and hopefully tomorrow night we get to see consistency throughout the full 90 minutes. I do not want to see tomorrow night seeing Barcelona play a great first half and then in the second half it just all falls down. We need to play great for the full 90 minutes, because if we can do that, Barcelona will come out with a great result. There is no reason for us to struggle like how we did against Espanyol, and that is only because, again, we were very inconsistent. We brought a great hyperactive first half, but in the second half everything fell down. And so the three substitutions that I do want to see Xavi Hernandez make, it is going to be Frankie de Jong coming in for either Xavi or Pedri, Luke de Jong coming in for either Dembele or Ferran Torres, and then have Nico Gonzalez also come in later in the game. But that is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona daily news. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.